Hi, let's go from football. Let's go to Major League Baseball. We're waiting for the first big domino to fall. Who's going to sign the first mega contract? And there are rumors, John, everywhere of all kinds of things. Let's first of all start with the Dodgers and the Padres and the Angels. The Dodgers, John, and I'm not good at math. I struggle sometimes balancing my checkbook like you. The Dodgers have cleared $101 million from their payroll by the guys they did not tender, the guys that they've yet to re-sign, and guys who are on the street as free agents are probably going to leave. They've cleared $101 million. So suddenly they got, what's that term, dry powder to use in the fight. The Dodgers have got money to use to go get somebody, and they made the decision, Cody Bellinger, we're not going to pay you $18 million to hit 203. And that's what he's hit the last 3 years since he won the MVP and since he had the shoulder surgery. So he's gone. I'm fascinated to see whether the Dodgers are a player for Aaron Judge or the Dodgers make a move to get Carlos Correa, because it's obvious to me that Bellinger's not coming back. It does not appear that Trey Turner is coming back either. So that's interesting. Now, from the Dodgers, we'll go to the Padres. The Padres committed $10 million apiece now, by the way they structured these contracts, to keep Nick Martinez and Robert Suarez. I don't know how much more they've got. They might have 8 to 10 million more to maybe make a deal to get one more contract. One of the names being floated right now is longtime White Sox first baseman designated hitter Jose Abreu, but he's 38 years of age. So are you going to give him the rest of your budget with the hope he can continue to hit here as maybe he did at Comiskey Park? Or do you do something different? Do you go in a marketplace? Luke Voigt has just become available. You could get him at a bargain basement price. He was not tendered by Washington. Would you bring him back? Would you go get Will Myers to be your first baseman at a reduced price? They still got to deal with first base. They still got to deal with what they're going to do in left field, and they still have to find a way to get a pitcher. They did meet with Kodai Senga, the Japanese star, but John, that price tag is 20 to 25 million per year. I don't know how they're going to do that if they want to stay under the luxury tax, because if they go over the luxury tax for a third straight year, the penalties are really severe in terms of the tax you pay and in terms of giving up draft picks, and you lose some international slot signing bonus pool money. So it's very complicated. And the third team, the Angels. Now, they've had a really productive 2 weeks. It's not sexy what they're doing, John, but they just traded for Hunter Renfroe, who's a 245 hitter with 157 home runs. He can play there, and he'll be productive there. He's a multi-position guy there. And, of course, they traded for Gio Urshela, who's got some power, 275 hitter, ex-Yankee and Twin, and they started this whole thing by signing Tyler Anderson. So the Angels have put a bunch of pieces in place, to be more competitive, but I also think to send a message to Shohei Ohtani, we're kind of players here. We think if we can keep everybody healthy, we might be better, and we're going to be better with the three guys that we just added. So I dumped a lot on your table here. Start with the Dodgers, walk through the Padres, and finish up with the Angels.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Dodgers clearly are moving payroll off the table so that they can have space to sign Aaron Judge or maybe multiple big-time free agents. They have a bottomless pit of resources. So, yeah, I expect them to be right in the mix. I know the Giants, by the way, are hoping to get on Aaron Judge. But as far as the Padres go, I've heard some interesting speculation. You and I, we talked about, if the Dodgers got rid of Bellinger, what could another team resurrect him? Now, imagine if Bellinger was a productive player. He could play first. He could play center. He could move around. He could be a great asset to the team if they can kind of solve the problem. But, the old guy, Abreu, I think you use him as a DH. I think he'd be a great candidate. And then plus you got Tatis coming back, a lot of movable parts. For me, if I'm GM AJ Preller, my focus is on Senga. I want to sign another pitcher because you need more in your rotation. As far as the Angels go, love seeing Renfroe back in SoCal. He's a great guy. I like seeing them really trying hard to kind of put this thing together rather than letting it crumble in their hands. So we need to keep Ohtani in SoCal. Ohtani is, some say, the face of the game. And so I like seeing the Angels continue to rebuild that franchise.
Well, you're kind of reaching. I don't want you to injure your shoulder, separate your shoulder. Reaching for Bellinger means you got to go through Scott Boras. You think Boras is going to bring his client in here for $10 million? I don't think so. He's had, supposedly, according to the agent, he's been contacted by 12 teams already. Now, there is a rumbling out there that Boras might say, let's do 1 year contract. Let's put it on Bellinger.
Yeah.
But what is the price tag for 1 year? Can Bellinger straighten himself out in 1 year? But what price tag do you have to pay for this trial season for 1 year? If it's still 15 to 18 million, and the guy's hit 203 the last 3 years, does San Diego want to pay that? You're the first guy that I've known on the street corner that said, hey, how about Cody Bellinger? Because everybody else is talking about other names. And I agree with you about Renfroe. I think Renfroe is a pro's pro.
Totally.
If he could hit 250 and 20 home runs, that's pretty good accomplishment. So I like what the Angels did. Okay, let's go from that